cosmology is a big truth, but it's a small part of the Bible. And if it's true, and yet so irregarded as to be 200 verses out of however many are in the full Bible, then how much more should we be changed by the rest of it? And what does it say? And it talks about truth, being sanctified by the truth. We're to be set apart by the truth from the world. We're no longer of the world. We're here, we're in it, but we're not to be of it anymore. We're not to eat at the same troughs. The irony of being against pagan holidays, so much where it brings you in conflict with family, to die on that hill, and then with open arms embrace anything you heard at South by Southwest, or the wisdom of Lucas as he took on the Hollywood mainstream blah blah drama. What are you talking about when you're talking about that? Why aren't you talking about the Bible? That's what I don't get. Why is it always legalism? Why is it, are you saying you can't make movies, or you can't watch movies? No, but are movies good for us? Even get specific, is a sci-fi miniseries that is like X-Files and Lost and Truman Show wrapped into one. I mean, is that what God told us to go out and make? I thought it was disciples, right? Mature, sober-minded disciples, not sitting in a chair staring at a screen. Sorry, but that is what we're doing now. I get it. But even more so in a darkened movie theater with a gigantic screen or a gigantic flat screen like in your home, where you're just spaced out, passively taking in all the media. You know, I made a music video a while back called Mediated, where I explored through, I thought, creative media, the idea of merging with media and entering the screen. So it's something I've been thinking about. I mean, how do you not have a new relationship with all things media when you see how much it's been used to control us, to blind us? Like, I'm sorry, but once that connection is made, and I'm like, you know what? I probably believed in the globe more from seeing it 5 million times in entertainment than I did from hearing about it in a classroom. That made it more real to me. The fantasy made it more real to me. And so when I've been abused by that media, I guess I'm in recovery now, and I don't want any part of it anymore. My flesh does, still. I'm not nearly as much, but I'm intrigued by where movies are going and special effects, eye candy. It's intriguing, but it's much, much more than that now, and I can't celebrate it how I used to. It's not self-righteousness. It's just a reaction to learning about the truth and losing taste for anything not true, even a good thing, even with best intentions. I think there's more powerful stories because they're true stories. to tell. Rob, man, you're missing the mark. Like, I listened to your testimony about having the dream handed back to you. And I got to say, the first half I could relate to, where you wanted this thing and it was dirty. It was unclean. It was an unclean dream. And then God saved you and cleaned you up. And when you were ready, he handed you the correct version of your dream. You love film? Go use film to document missionary work. Be a documentarian. Something real and true. Plenty of opportunity. He provided the opportunity for intrigue. The goat on the bridge, you know? I'm not saying you couldn't script that. Obviously, we know about false reality being scripted, but I don't believe you did. It was a real thing God blessed you with. That's his fulfilling of the provision. There would have been many ways you could mature in creative filmmaking through that. And I don't know what happened, but to come back later now and say, oh no, now he's really handing it back to me. And he wants it to be like a Hollywood style thing. And he downloaded it to my brain. What? You're telling me, okay, this is something you need to clarify and stand behind. Are you saying, when you use this phrase that he downloaded it to your brain, is this a received word? You need to straighten that up. Because if you say that, and there is anything unclean in your film, you're in trouble, man. Like, that's blaspheming. That's a serious thing. And I don't think you intend to do that, but you need to check it, because I've heard you say God downloaded this whole idea. Then you said he still is, which I don't get that. Is he evolving it? I mean, God doesn't change. What's he adding? Why didn't he just give you all the words to the script? It just doesn't sound like consistent with the God revealed in Scripture, how he acts and his attributes. In fact, he says, he warns us. He warns us constantly to be careful not to fall into error and delusion. And why is this? I'm kind of surprised this is even controversial to say, you know what? 4 years ago, we all thought we lived on a ball in space and found out that was a big lie, and that the media that surrounds us is lying to us all the time. Isn't it just natural from that reality that you would start to question everything around you, media related, and re-questioning your relationship to it, and deconstructing it and questioning it on a nuts and bolts level and a spiritual level? And how does this affect me? How does this affect people? Dude, I think about it all the time when I'm making a video. Yeah, I've wondered about it myself. Just what's okay and not okay uses of media. And it adds a level of responsibility for sure. A standard that I have is, well, what happens when you strip away the video, right? And videos like the last one I made, they don't change you don't lose any information. All the relevant information's right there. There's no value given to the visuals. But, you know, a 12-hour, $1 to $10 million to $100 million miniseries. That's a totally different thing. Like, have we exhausted God's truth so much to the point where we have to turn to sci-fi, you know, to glorify him, like to relate to the world? You know, are we called to relate to the world that way? Once you recognize that movies and entertainment is a big idol today, then why would you cater to it at all? Why would you feed it? Yes, you could. Sure, we're saved, right? Like, we have freedom to do whatever we want, basically. That's, of course, a mischaracterization, but you see what I'm saying? Yes, you can make a movie, you know, and not lose your salvation or something. But should you make a movie in this day and age, knowing how much time we have, knowing everything behind us, knowing that they're saying there's a car on its way to Mars, you know? Like, maybe we should start looking into holiness and looking into sanctification and looking into what it means to be set apart and then living that out, you know? Listen, my personal testimony also includes a time in my growth process, like the stunted part of my growth process, when I was collecting media, DVDs, you know, bunch of documentaries, but a bunch of Christian entertainment too. And at the root of it, it was because I wanted entertainment. And, if I buy the Christian thing, it's okay. It's like clean, right? But maybe I should have been questioning, well, why do I want the entertainment so much? And praying about that. And why is it such a big deal? Why are people so heated at anything I expressed in the last video when I used scripture? And I don't get it. I did my best, you know. I prayed about it. I took a lot of time and thought about it. And never once was I like, I hope this offends somebody.